Hello YouTube, so today I'm going to talk about a supposed contradiction between John chapter 16 verse 33 and Luke chapter 22 verse 42. So basically I was struggling with this a bit as well, because Jesus says in John chapter 16 verse 33, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." And yet he says in Luke chapter 22, verse 42, if we go there, and it says, saying, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." So as we can see here, it's as if there's this almost supposed contradiction. Like here he is saying that he has overcome the world in John, but here he's saying he wants the Father's will, and this cup of that he has to bear going on the cross and bearing all of humanity's sins. He wants it taken away from him, as if he's struggling with it and stuff. But I'll explain what it means. What it basically means is that in John chapter 16 verse 33, when he's saying that he has overcome the world, like spiritually within himself, on his divine side, he's overcome the world, and he's ready mentally to face the cross and all that it entails. But in here, when he's saying, "Father, if it is your will to take this cup away from him," this is basically his human side coming out, so saying that the mental stress and everything in his instinct, saying like for him to not do this, because obviously he would die, so his instinct to live and to continue living is kicking in, telling him, "Hey, do not go through with this plan of dying on the cross for people's sins. It's not worth it. It's not worth the stress and anxiety and the pain and the suffering that will come with it." And then I can't remember what book it is, but it also says in further detailed explanation of the prayer that Jesus was praying at Gethsemane, it was saying, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." So that's implying that his spirit and his spirit and his soul was like mentally prepared to go through what he needed to do on the cross, but his flesh, his earthly flesh, his human side, his human instincts and everything was not being subjected to the will of his spirit and his soul and to the Father's will, and he was fighting against it. All his human instincts were screaming out not to go through with this. So that's why he is still. So that's why there's not a contradiction between John chapter 16 verse 33 and Luke chapter 22 verse 42, because his spirit, he had overcome the world spiritually and mentally, but his flesh and his human instincts had not yet, and that's why he had to pray to God to subject his flesh and his biological instincts to bring into alignment with his Father's will and his will of dying on the cross of people's sins and bearing all of the sin of humanity and all the pain and anxiety and all the stress and all the suffering and death that would come with it. And so that is the end of this YouTube video. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment section down below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.